There is no real beginning, only an ending that changes each day. That is why we find it possible to know where to start. Each potential origin for all that has happened stretches back through a tangle of events to other circumstances that made them manifest. These are so densely interwoven that we can't unravel them.
Let's say there are three things. They are both objects and structures. They're not necessarily related. They're not fixed. They're not autonomous. I call these the infrastructure. We call these the infrastructure. Each viewing may seem to have shifted, but the mind, the act of recall is travelled in the brain. You could ask the question, are these a memory, a cell, an hallucination? Or just plain brainwashing?
One thing that is absolutely certain is that photography has had a peculiar grip over our fate, and this began exerting its influence on later events even before our births. It's not uncommon for our children to be growing up, but what was perhaps odd was that we didn't speak. The mouth and tongue masticates mass into pulp and vomits, guarded by 2 rows of bone, and occasionally bites into the inner flesh of the mouth cavity. Filtered red light fills the hole, flooded in red, coloured by blood, hanging on the back of our throats. Ingested thin. Subject turned upside down the back of the throat, and it downwards towards the felt, just through the shape close, connect through. Did face stationary within the saccadic movement of her eye. Green features bulging in a dark and convex mirror. Our fair hair caught up in the same turbulence which disturbed hers. Beyond us, the palm trees were manifesting that same invisible force. Strain on the strips of sharp leaves pinned at the centre, shaking like a cheerleader's pom-pom. The greens oscillating between the light underbelly and the dark skin. This description's limited. This is as deceptive as the term photographic, in that it speaks of paths where there are none. The whole is independent, all defined by the other, interlaced, every moment complete but indivisible. Need to speak around years. There was simply nothing to say, no time to say it. There was no space to speak that would halt the next unfolding scene. Everything was immediate to us at present. It was as if we were in a kaleidoscope. We were a bead in a mesmerizing, constantly shifting pattern. Everything was in flux. Every single moment, every single object rewritten at every turn. Eidetic remembering is not the flat, frozen blink of the camera. It's almost hallucinatory. Its sensual intensity, its lucidity. Its lucidity is so sharp as to be overwhelming, stupefying overindulgence. All of the senses simultaneously. Memories explode in the head at times. It's difficult to convey the potency of this. We recall without choice the scene marks. And us on the beach. You can see her face as it was then, before the lines had found the folds to rupture. Remember every single shape of fair maid as it blew in the wind, every visible hair wrestling through a strand. I saw the widening of her pupil. We saw the widening of her pupil, the black pushing aside the curtain of her brown iris as she turned to look at us. Reflected face, our reflected faces, our reflected face. Only an ending that changes each day. That is why we find it possible to know where to start. Each potential origin for all that has happened stretches back through a tangle of events to other circumstances that made them manifest. It's so densely interwoven that we can't unravel them. One thing that is absolutely certain is that photography has had a peculiar grip over our fate. This began exerting its influence on later events, even before our births.